Un très grand salut à tous mes glouton-bajo. Bon retour au commentaire d'Animanic avec C.Auzi+D.Fanatic.
And Disney.Fanatic 2364. This is not one of our French films. What are you doing?
I'm going to France. This is my last stream before I go to France. So, I mean, like, I thought I'd be a little funny about it, you know? But yeah, I'd definitely say that this movie that we're watching tonight, Wreck-It Ralph, is definitely, like, top 10 animated movies for me. Like, for me, like, I categorize certain Disney movies as Disney movies and then movies released by Disney. You know, it's like they don't really feel like Disney movies. So it's like the same thing applies to Emperor's New Groove. It doesn't really feel like a Disney movie, but it's a good movie and Disney released it, and they're better off for having released it. And the same here, because they actually, oh, I'm going to Disneyland Paris. Doy. And I'm gonna spend a couple of days in Paris itself as well. But yeah, but no, on the note of the movie, if you're watching a commentary of the movie, you've probably already seen it. If you haven't, you should probably mute the stream until we start showing the logos, because we're gonna go ahead and talk about the story here so we can talk about the animation when the film's up. So, honey, you have anything to say about this movie?
It's fun.
It is fun. You have any more to add to that?
Not really.
Well, I do. I think, like, this film is one of many films that Disney had released that got them confused with whether or not Disney or Pixar made the film. And it's like... That's
because they did Toy Story, but with video games.
And it's not just the Toy Story with video games thing, but it's also the story influence of executive producer Mr. Gropey McLassiter. So it's like, you know, we have that to be thankful for in terms of like why people confuse Disney movies with Pixar movies. Yes, I also did get, thank you, Squad, for mentioning that, because I was pretty disappointed when Brave won the Oscar that year. It was like, no, this movie was better. It's not like Brave. Okay. It's not like
2012 had Brave, Wreck-It Ralph, and Rise of the Guardians.
Rise of the Guardians definitely should have won. Like, after the fact, I realized I should have.
It was a toss-up.
I mean, I guess, like, Brave wasn't all that bad. Wreck-It Ralph was baller, but the Rise of the Guardians, which we will do a stream for at some point, because that movie's amazing.
We're at that section of like the 2010s where all three of the big animation studios and even some rising ones were all putting out really good animated movies.
Oh yeah, no, because from Kung Fu Panda sometime in like 2007 or something like that, and then all the way through the early 2010s, there was just boom. It was like really good years for animation. Like everything was just solid. Like WALL-E, like Coraline, then, the Wes Anderson, the Fox, Fantastic Mr. Fox. There's like.
And then you get the additional stuff from the foreign animators, and like, oh damn, which one is the best?
Yeah, you get Ghibli doing more stuff. You get some other studios hopping in on the thing. But like, yeah, no. But yeah, no. I definitely see this film as like, especially when I was younger. Like I'd seen the Lorax earlier that year, and this movie flipped a switch in my brain, and like, oh, the Lorax sucked. This is what movies should make you emotionally feel like. This movie was like
I beg to differ about that statement, but can we just go back to what this movie is?
This movie is basically the story of like the Donkey Kong-esque Fix-It Felix Jr. video game, where a big old apish man is tearing down a structure and terrorizing the locals, and the little carpenter guy has to hop and jump around in order to like save the day and fix the building. But the 30th anniversary.
Fun fact that it was originally going to be about Felix.
That is fascinating. Mm-hmm. But they definitely made the right choice, because in this version of events, it's the 30th anniversary, and Ralph is like feeling like he's been. It is kind of like Monsters Inc., where it's just kind of their job to play these characters. Which again, it adds to the whole thing where people started confusing Disney films with Pixar films unless it was about a princess.
And then they take the support group thing that Pixar had already done with the Toy Story
Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo did it first with the carnivores, with the sharks.
And then they did a second time with the Toy Story shorts.
I think that came out after this movie though. So.
No, it came before. Really? I mean, it was a whole thing in the news. If you were paying attention to the news of movies in 2012, like I was.
Okay, well, I was more following My Little Pony, so at that time.
No. I mean, they even said like they're even taking some elements from Pixar, and they're like, why not? People copy from Disney all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, thank you. But like, anyway, so it's 30th anniversary. He's getting sick and tired of his role, but everybody like threatens to like remind him that like, you know, it's kind of a bad idea to go against the game. But he's just so disappointed with his lot in life, and after a really bad party, he decides to take it into his own hands and ends up on a crack-ass adventure through two totally different arcade games that are unfamiliar to his idea of like what a video game is. Like, he's the bad guy, there's a hero, and it's as simple as that. But the other games he hops in are so alien to him, sometimes literally. And I think that's enough to get us started, I think, where we can just get the movie set up. I didn't put it up,
which is all I really want to do.
Yeah, and this is the availability up at the top, so getting set for synchronization. Everybody set synchronization. Everybody get set for synchronization. Get set for synchronization. I mostly did that right. Anyway, but now that everybody is most likely ready with their copy, all the logos are the same. Nobody should have any issues between Disney Plus, DVDs, Blu-rays, whatever you have access to. So everybody, get your fingers ready. Are you ready? Are you ready, honey?
Ready?
Yeah. Okay. We gotta start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Pointing on the subtitles while the logo rolls by. We've seen this logo since like Princess and the Frog, right? No, wait. Was
definitely
it
before that?
It was like. So
well, you're talking about animated movies, but it was not the first time.
Right. For animated movies, I think the first one was Meet the Robinsons, because Chicken Little had a unique one. So this logo played in front of Meet the Robinsons, and then from there on was pretty much in front of every. And this is absolutely adorable. Not gonna lie, that is the cutest damn thing I ever saw, and it really sets the tone.
The music really.
I love how it sets the tone too. You know.
Well, I mean, we already have had a video game with Steamboat Willie music in it, so they had it ready.
That's true. And he had
Mickey.
And Mickey Mouse had like a few pixelated games in the SNES era, the Sega era, the Genesis era. But yeah, I love their little pixel animation. I'm not too well versed in pixel art to indicate like what is or isn't accurate, but the arcade cabinet, like from what I've seen of a lot of different arcade cabinets, the art of the arcade cabinet is on point. Like the art surrounding the game, with little cartoon versions of them. But yeah. And also gotta point out, John C. Reilly is pretty fun in this role. He makes this. It's like he's got a pretty distinct voice, but he's also like.
Breyer as well.
Jamie Breyer is like great. Yeah, they got greatly distinct voices.
You got a lot of people with distinct voices. You got Jane Lynch, Sarah. Actually, Sarah Silverman could probably get away with changing her voice.
I mean, a little bit, but like but her voice is also pretty recognizable. But like John C. Reilly, he really adds like an everyday average Joe vibe to this bad guy, and it's so funny. And there's Turbo Time, and it gets replaced with Pac-Man. Pay attention to that. That's gonna come, and then Space Invaders moves over there. Just pay attention. That's all gonna come back later. But Pac-Man is still in the arcade. There's Root Beer Tapper. Whack-a-Troll.
And then Sugar Rush.
They probably
could. On the
Sugar
side.
Rush comes in, and then Hero's Duty is brand spanking new. Today, as of 2012, of course.
Dance Dance Revolution. I think I still have the mats somewhere.
Yeah. I love that. That's great.
And then
we cross the threshold, and we're outside of the pixelated world and into the tiny people land.
So you notice how the Nicelanders are all animated like they're 8-bit movements?
Yes.
Ralph was going to be animated that way too, but they didn't think he was going to be as lovable that way.
It is interesting to see how that turned out, like in the modern animated films, like Spider-Verse and shit. But it's like, you know.
And,
And look at
Felix
the
gets some fluid
pixelated
movements, too.
effects on the simulated mud there. It's the attention to detail.
With all the bricks that he's
Smashed,
destroyed over 30 years.
Yep. Well, less so the bricks that he smashed and more so like, you know, the opening cutscene of the game where he's just got this mound over here.
Yeah, no, the fact that it's also bigger. It's all the bricks that he smashed over the 30 years.
Yeah, I guess that is true. And Disney would be the ones to do that kind of detail. The brick is a brick. Brick is a brick is a brick.
And the stars are like these little itty bitty.
I mean the stars are just Galaga stars, like with the just pretty much coming in any color. Just yellow, blue, green. I mean, mostly the RGB and the simulated smoke is pixelated. It's just great. I've only slept on bricks once and never again.
So, this is all also the third anti-villain movie we had within the last couple years.
That is true. I think the other ones we
got
were like
Every studio was doing it. Every studio was doing it.
and Megamind. But at least this film stood out by focusing on video game characters.
Wait a minute. I thought we were doing... I didn't know we were at Illumination at this point. I'm joking.
Do you want to point out that the Bowser does look like the renders that Nintendo had out around the time, and even Robotnik, Eggman there pretty much matches what he looked like in the games at this point. It's great.
Okay, so from what I've seen, Zangief is not in the arcade versions of Street Fighter.
Yeah, well, Bowser's not in the arcade version of Mario Brothers because the Mario Brothers just you know, like the
I mean, you could argue that in this world you make kind of arcade versions of those games.
Possibly. One must wonder. That's probably the bloodiest we'll ever get in any Disney movie. Because it's purple.
even bloodier than stuff in Black Cauldron.
Yeah. And then
I always love the way that what's his name? Let's see, there's Inky, Blinky,
this guy's Clyde.
Clyde, yes, thank you.
That he's constantly moving around in the same way that the ghosts move.
And moving around in that little box thing.
Yeah.
Satan.
Yeah. Don't remember what arcade game he's from. But obviously M. Bison is from Street Fighter.
I think Pac-Man was one of the few games I tried to play. My parents didn't let me play a lot of arcade games that would be in the laundromats.
Yeah.
They're like, those cost money, hun. Everything costs money.
It's yeah. Well, see, Mario would have probably been played by his original voice actor because Roger Craig Smith actually shows up in a moment to have a cameo with Sonic.
They actually couldn't figure out a way to put Mario in this movie.
Yeah. And Nintendo had debates with them about how they would allow him to show up in the movie, which is why he never showed up in the sequel.
They had the rights. They just couldn't figure out how to do it.
And they said they were going to put him in the sequel, but didn't do that either. And then it's revealed that they're all in the Pac-Man.
Which is a cute little detail.
Yep.
I did say his little itty bitty short 8-bit version.
Restrooms, East Portal. I feel like the East Portal would have to be closer to the edge there, because Pac-Man just kind of instantaneously slowly moves and then
Zangief's like, hey, I saved you a seat.
Yeah.
This is a cool idea.
This visual.
Them transferring through all the. Yeah.
Let's end up in video game New York, which is great. Outlet 7, that's so smart. And then there's graffiti on the walls. There's little video game Easter eggs hidden in there as well. And they're going through the plug. It's just...
And somewhere is the T-Rex from Meet the Robinsons. There he is.
Right back there, coming out of the left side. And there are the other ghosts. Inky, Blinky, Pinky. But yeah.
Pinky, that's the one I forgot. How could I forget Pinky?
She's literally, her name is her color. This is a pretty funny.
Oh, come on, it's right there. He obviously saw it. But it's funny, surge protector.
Do love that guy. And that's Dig Dug going into the floor.
It's like he's doing.
And there's Roger Cake Smith
and Sonic
as Sonic. And again, in his design as like.
And it's a nice way to put in a cameo and
Jason.
also show us.
Oh, it's Jason.
Like
it's Jason Griffin. Oh, well, now that's interesting. I guess Roger Craig Smith. Well, Roger Craig Smith did show up in the sequel, though. Anyway.
Well, I mean, there are like a million voice actors for Sonic. How do you pick one?
Well, you wonder. You do wonder. Maybe it's that Jason Griffin was still the voice of Sonic at the time. 2012.
Anyway,
No,
I was trying to say that that's a nice way to put in a cameo and also a world building detail that we can't die outside of our game.
Yep, it's very quick, and of course it's an allusion to Sonic Says from the Sonic the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. It's like, remember kids, learn a lesson. I love how tiny his pupils are, and there's Pac-Man.
Yeah, the real villains of this movie is that one guy. What's his name?
Gene. We're gonna see him in a moment.
Gene.
And have him jump up with a little Mario pose, which is great. It's a very clear and obvious pose. You do see them like being very rigid in their movements, because unlike Ralph and Felix, who are animated smoothly, and Sonic is at the party as well.
Yep.
But like,
and Felix is an enabler.
if you die outside your game, that's no good. Thanks, Huffington.
Yeah, Felix is an enabler and doesn't realize he's an enabler.
Yep. He's like Jack McBrayer. He looks like Jack McBrayer. He's just too sweet.
Most of them look like they're voice actors.
And John C. Reilly also, like, yeah, aside from the hair aside the hair being kind of pointy, it's like, yeah, that is pretty much John C. Reilly.
Have I actually seen that guy in person? Oh, I see it now.
Yeah.
Actually, the picture here with his curly hair, he kind of does look like,
curly hair versus the pointy hair, but still pretty good mention. All right, this guy is Glenn. So I don't know what game he's from.
I can't name all these video game references.
Yep. It's like, I love how their little noses are like nice and red. I feel like they could have gone a little further with that, because I think little red noses on guys like this is really fun.
Without it looking like a clown nose, because we already have clowns in this world.
Yeah, just like slightly darker, like on Ralph, to match Felix. Just to demonstrate what we saw earlier. Oop. Yep. One of the turtles from Frogger. Yeah, I was thinking like it's like probably a Frogger character. And it's like just really nice. Which must have taken forever. Look at how tall that friggin' cake is. It's like, I see this Disney influence on like even the like, because the characters, the Nicelanders are animated the way they are because Felix and Ralph are animated the traditional method because they're smoother. They're smoother like because of their movements as the player character and the bad guy. But the other characters, the Nicelanders, are background elements, so they only animate on like 2 frames at a time.
Like, was it real? Like, look, like, why'd you have to be mean to him outside the game, though?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, and like he's squishing the fondant.
These are reminding me of that friend group that pretty much just excluded me.
That was just, which wasn't very nice. And look at this shit. It's like...
I'm not gonna go into detail. This is what it's reminding me of, though.
But like, well, at least they're saying it to his face, but they are very rude. They're very rude. It's like, they're getting this whole shit going down, and it's like, absolutely love how the friggin'... And then even the cake splatters are pixelated. Just beautiful. And then it's just a pink mush because that's exactly how you'd animate it.
You just have a little bit of anger management issues.
Which is why you're
which is stemmed from this isolation and exclusion that you've dealt with your entire existence.
It's an explanation, not an excuse, but definitely Gene is an ass.
And the fact that the balloons deflate.
Yeah. They managed to say little fondant people in the background. I never noticed that. It's so cute. It's pretty much every side character who's pixelated gets to move in a rigid fashion. It's like looking at Tapper.
Yeah, like Tapper. Yeah, so fun fact about this. When the Tapper game first came out, he was serving alcohol.
Right. But there was like a home console version that was root beer Tapper. Yeah,
but obviously because this is a kid movie, they made it root beer in here.
Well, Disney movie. Disney just wouldn't do the alcohol anymore. I think they would have in the past.
They did. They have.
In the past, they had alcohol.
And Sleeping Beauty.
But like in this movie, I feel like they could have at least like kept the. But I guess you can't have your hero going to a bar. I mean, what message does that send to the kids? I guess that's the only other Mario thing we're getting. Snake. That's just
It's the only thing you wear, dude. How do you lose that?
I think he's got shoes on too. He's got like boxing.
That's not the point. Was he like getting it on with someone in the bathrooms right there, and that's how he lost it?
No, I think he got drunk on root beer because they do say it's root beer, but the characters still get drunk on it.
Meanwhile, this guy's suffering PTSD. War version, of course.
Yeah. This man is...
Hey, look, a Sonic and Q-Bird. Look at all the...
Yes, this is a reference to like a place in like Hollywood where there was like Al Hirschfeld drawings of like a lot of celebrities. And now it's just like video game characters. And a couple of them are Disney animators and production people. So that's where you'd probably find your director's cameo. Like directly under Sonic, that's like a Disney guy. That's one of the Disney people.
It looks like the director, so that might be the director.
That might actually be the director, yeah. And I love how the bug has little eyes.
I think I see the Chicken Little fluffy aliens, or I could be mistaken. Look like them.
It does look like them a little bit, right there above Eggman, next to Chun-Li.
At least you should not wear somebody else's underwear. That's just gross.
No, especially when it's just been left in the lost and found. Somebody want to sanitize that. Is the bug a Wally Easter egg? It could be, but like the bug in Wally didn't have the cartoon eyes, so somebody help me with this HUD. it's a little much.
Cartoon eyes. It was just a cockroach.
Cockroach was cartoon eyes, but in Wally,
it didn't have cartoon eyes.
You didn't see the cartoon eyes on it? You got to go back and look at that.
Cartoon eyes. It was just a cockroach.
No, it had cartoon eyes. I'll show you later. But anyway, and this is important. Remember this for later. Oh, owie. Can't really see where you're going with all that information in your way, huh? No,
because we had to see Cuber. One
Happy
for the
5th birthday,
later.
Susie.
We also had to see Q-Bird for Ralph's moment of that he is a good guy.
He's a really nice when he gave him the cherry. It's a nice character moment.
Yeah, which they took from Aladdin.
Now here's what's really interesting. They definitely as far as animation and Disney animation goes, they still kind of just do a standard Disney character vibe for the humans in this game.
8 quarters, that's $2. Okay, and speaking of characters looking a lot like their voice actor,
Jane Lynch and Sergeant Calhoun.
Who pretty much is just a CGI version of Jane Lynch.
Yeah. But also,
that's a cool idea.
Yep. I mean, you gotta personalize the player being able to move through the environment. In these arcade shooters, it does actually work like this, where you're on rails and you just move through the environment. I think my sister and I tried one out based around Halo, and it was pretty fun. It was pretty good.
Kind of an Aliens vibe too.
Definitely. It's definitely like Halo, Aliens. Yeah. And these giant robo-looking insect monsters.
The world building.
And that they're programmed to just do that.
Which will help later.
And sure, it works in terms of like... Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, alright.
She is so cool.
Yeah. It's like, it makes sense that the,
that
Sergeant
sanctuary.
Calhoun, yeah. It makes sense that... I thought it would be like Centipede. But yeah. Insert coins to continue. That is also true.
Oh, sorry, my mom just came in with a prescription. We're waiting for her for ages. Hi. Thank you.
All right. They set up a lot of shit going on here. Calling a ceasefire. Also, just like... And everyone's respawning. Very grumpy.
They're always Polish.
Yep. It's like, it makes sense that she would, like, look like all the humans in the Disney world, because in Halo, they try to make their humans look like real humans in the real world. So it's like, it adds up, like, a lot, like, in the world building when you really think about it.
Japanese.
Yep.
Jerks.
Yeah.
It's like anytime girls try to play video games.
Yep. Everyone inside.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I've been waiting for this lotion for ages, so I'm gonna go put it on. Bye.
Okie dokie. Alright. So... everyone's gotta pretend things are normal. Basically, pretend the building is destroyed. Quarter alert. Nobody's paying attention. Hop him around. Whoop. That's not suspicious. It seems pretty suspicious. Yeah, they always got the little jumping noise. Well, of course they all notice Ralph was absent. It's like, you don't miss a guy that's like 10 feet tall. Yeah. It's just a sweet little moment. Also a not so sweet little joke right here. Good lord. God damn, Litwack. That's no good. And I love how their out of order sign bathes it in an ominous orange glow. Everyone's like very apocalyptic looking. It's not great. It's happened before. But yeah, here comes Qbert. Ed O'Neill is Litwack. But like, love the way this plays out. Yeah. Exactly. Which is not great. We've already heard from fucking M. Bison of all people that it's not a good idea. And I love this animation of him just monkeying his way up there, I guess to further like just compound on the Donkey Kong comparisons, which are very intentional. Took him a while. I love every line that comes out of her mouth is amazing. A lot of them probably ad-libbed. And quarter for luck. Watch yourself. Yeah, here they are. I absolutely love the contrast between these two. And then... And what do we call this? Love at first gigabyte? It's like... It's so cute. It's kind of cute. But like, yeah. Love the posing is great. She's confident, ready to...
That's one of the best parts!
Yeah. But like, she's always like battle ready, and he's just this cute little guy, so he's like holding his hat a little shyly. It's like, the posing on these characters is just spectacular.
Kind of like one of the couples in the book I had to read. Itty bitty little guy involved with very, very tall, tough...
Tall drink of water.
Brash woman.
very gruff, very brash. Follow
and
the
I must
pilgrim.
like, look at that high definition.
He's just a little guy.
Is that the...
I don't think that's Samuel Jackson, no.
You sure?
No, definitely not. Voice has been easily more right. I love this little fantasy he has. Dennis Hayes. That makes sense. Dennis Haysbert. And then it's like just pre-recorded holograms. And then all those guys look the same on the side. Love this. Cutscene would probably like play with like the screen saying, play again, insert more coins.
My God, wait, is this the Allstate guy?
It sounds like it. Is Dennis Haysbert the Allstate guy? That's hilarious.
You know who he is? He's also Rescue Rangers Away.
He's also the Fly in the reboot movie.
Yeah,
Good
yes. Lord. When his voice is deep, of course. Okay.
Whoop. Yep.
Just like Alien.
Yeah, that's not great.
On the face.
Get that thing off you, dude. I think there's a couple of things that shouldn't have come for that portal. And brought Sonic with the rings. Aw, they grow up so fast. Ah, shit, they grow up so fast. And it is said that this took Disney a while to make sure that this world looked as delicious as possible. And, you know, paid off. Everyone agrees, like, they want to eat this place. Look at that caramel. Look at that cake. Look at those hard candies. Oh, God. Look at that icing. That icing looks tastier than any buttercream I've ever had. It's just, God, give to me. Down he goes. And welcome to Pastel colored candy coated Sugarland. It's just grab spoon and fork, yeah. Yep. Yep. He says whack-a-mole, but but it's like actually whack-a-troll. So like that's interesting. Cavity Central. Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. Feels absolutely out of place.
Okay, what I love,
Yep.
I remember in behind the scenes clips that they would like get just giant vats of pudding or chocolate or whatever they were using in the scene, and then they just drop stuff in it to see how it moved. And then they
Animation
would joke
references,
like,
am I right?
yes, but and then they joke, yeah, put that on your resume.
Here she is. Sarah Silverman.
The cutest little badass ever.
Yep. Look at her little hazel eyes.
And like a Reese's peanut butter cup skirt and
Yeah, everything about her costume is just on point. It's very just all the fucking like little hair clips in her hair that look like candy bits.
Okay, so the nice thing about every time we have a Ralph and Vanellope scene is that they would record these lines together in a room.
Yeah, so they were bouncing off each other. Yeah.
That's why it works so well.
She's 9, but John says she's 12.
Yeah,
well,
a 12-year-old. She's like a 12-year-old in like a 15-year-old's game.
Yeah, here's
So,
the thing.
I don't know.
Like, I think here's the thing. Like, no, because like if the character says that she's 12, then she's fucking 12, right? And
Yeah. A 12-year-old and a 15-year-old game. This world's weird. Like technically, he's been like 30 for 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah. 30-year-old man who was 30 years old when he was plugged in, and now he really is 30. Starting to feel his age. Double stripe.
I've seen we're reading fanfics of Wreck-It Ralph where like like Felix and Calhoun would have a baby, and I'm like, wait, but how does that even work? Because
one may wonder.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, before the sequel even came out, there was one fanfic I saw where they adopted Vanellope, but
Fake trailer released online confirms that Sugar Rush came out in 1997. Yeah, but we know that the age of the game doesn't insinuate the age of the character.
so then the game. No. I mean that she was a 12-year-old made in a game that is 15 years old. You know what I mean?
Ah.
Like this, because they were never babies. None of these characters were ever babies.
Nope. Also love, like, you could see, like, before, like, while they were just talking, that it was a double stripe. And that they set that up. It's just great.
Except that double stripe took forever to break.
Yeah, but, you know, it's kind of like when Wile E. Coyote notices that he's standing on nothing, and then he falls. So Ralph had to notice that it was a double stripe before it would disappear.
I think like most of the main voice actors would be recording in the same room, too. Yeah,
no, it's definitely... I mean, they've been doing that, like, for a while, because it adds to the... They've been doing that since, like, around Aladdin, like, Robin Williams and...
Not always,
Not
though.
always, but, like, Robin Williams and Jason... the kid who played Aladdin.
I think they did that in Emperor's New Groove, too.
They did. Yep. Frogger, Burger Time. I think that's Fix-It Felix Jr. No, wait, that's something else. Something 3. Yep. Alright. I love this. Love this whole scene.
Program with the backstory. Did this guy in her memories actually exist?
No. That's just how... It's just the story she remembers. She has some PTSD.
Is it really even? I don't know. I probably shouldn't diminish her feelings. But...
Well, yeah, no, don't diminish it just because it didn't happen. Because yeah, it's like they know they're video game characters and they know their backstories are fictional, but they are also fictional, so those backstories are technically real, even if the guys didn't exist. You know, it's like it makes sense when you think it makes sense when you think about it too much and don't think about it too much.
Felix is just like such a puppy.
Jenkins.
He's a lovesick puppy.
I want to say Jenkins was probably an animator or something. It's like who
Why
else
do
could
I
be
have
their
that
name on the
thing?
wall?
Like a lot of my I'll have that thing with a lovesick puppy, like this itty bitty guy and this big And
I'm
this
sorry,
big brash
even
woman.
that trophy looks like heat-blown sugar. I want to eat that trophy on top of that thing. It
Man,
looks so
I just
good.
had 2 cupcakes and
God, I love little dollops down there. God, I'm so okay.
man, they had fun animating this this world.
I gotta go grab and then here's, I think, isn't this like the director? This is the director kind of doing a Stephen Wright type character. It was like, all hail sugar ruler.
And was this the first time Alan Tudyk voiced for Disney?
Yes,
or?
this would have been the first time he voiced for Disney. He auditioned this character like doing like a fucking like Ed Wynn impression, like he was the Mad Hatter, and like yeah, that's just kind of what he's doing.
And as a result, he ended up voicing the Mad Hatter in the Once Upon a Studio short.
Yes, but when you actually listen to the full performance of King Candy side by side with the Mad Hatter, he does do it slightly different, which makes sense because he's literally playing a pretty
It's also still a different character, so
yeah. In fact, I think the only thing similar between the Mad Hatter and like King Candy is like having the lisp, the little lisp. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab a little drink real quick. My bottle's empty.
And there's disgust.
It's absolutely amazing the levels of detail.
What's her name? Mindy Calling? Is that her name? Yeah.
Thing. It's just, and here he is.
Mintizaki. That's a reference to Miyazaki.
Hayao Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Which Pixar actually had a pretty good relationship with Miyazaki. And I wouldn't.
Well, yeah. Don't forget that Miyazaki approved of Disney's English dub of, I believe the first movie they did was Nausicaa, which he approved. Yeah, and he's like, okay, you are gonna do my English versions from now on.
Yeah, and it's like, I believe like Lasseter and Miyazaki actually, met a few times. So like, they've had a good relationship with both of the animation studios that Disney.
Yeah, they're the English dubs that Miyazaki himself prefers.
Yep. Yep.
Because I remember, like, some of the other English versions beforehand would, like, cut a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. God, Taffy Ralph looks amazing.
Okay, anyway, I was saying that Taffeta is voiced by, how do you say her name? Mindy Kaling, who would voice Disgust in Kaling. Oh, there we go. Wait, is it Kaling? I thought she was...
I don't know. Somebody help me. K like in day or Ka like in raw?
I mean, she's Indian, so...
Is it K or Ka? As in day. Okay, K. Got it. Mindy Kaling. I had a feeling. I've heard her name like that too often.
Well, Mindy Kaling. Kaylin, yeah.
Anyway. The Wizard of Oz joke coming up. Yeah, I think it was like one of the producers who asked for it, but because, they're old crusty white guys, but it's like, you know what? It's a good joke. It actually is really funny.
I hear the disgust in her. No wonder she was cast.
Yeah.
She got that kind of sassy,
and then
sassy mean girl vibe.
And here it is. And they fucking taser him. Yeah. I love this.
And it's even animated, like, the marches are the same way.
It's it's great. It's really funny. I also have to imagine director Richard Moore just really enjoyed that joke. Like, he was like, you know what? Yeah, that's funny. I'll do it. I just love his little castle.
That wasn't all the Hail the Chiefs on his...
Yeah, on his... Yeah. Oof, and there we are. No, I don't think I will, sir.
Little hint. That's the first little hint that he actually knows who Ralph is.
Yep. But it's like, I mean, everyone's familiar with every other arcade game, probably. But like... Yeah.
The fact that he recognizes, nobody else does. He does.
Yeah. But anyway.
You did not earn it, you stole it. That's the thing,
Yeah.
he didn't earn that medal.
He didn't. He really didn't. So interesting, the Oreos don't actually have Oreo written on them, which they would if they were actual Oreos.
Your puffiness. Children of the candy corn.
Yeah. I love how his bow tie is a tiny little candy that's wrapped in a giant wrapper. It's just great.
Alan Tudyk is really good at playing quirky villains.
Oh yeah, no. And it's already really clear.
And then a couple years later, we get Star vs.
Yeah.
the Forces of Evil, where he's Ludo.
And King Ripper doing the characters very well. It's different.
Yeah. Nilly Wafer. I love Nilla wafers.
Winchell and Duncan.
Winchell and Duncan, yeah.
That's great.
I've never had Winchell donuts, so.
We didn't talk about Star. We didn't talk about Star versus. Also love the dark circles around his eyes. You can see like, actually, I guess it's more like a shadow that he's wearing on his eyelids. He really likes driving his little car around. Yeah. The candy chainsaw.
Is it a cupcake?
Go through the sugar glass window or the wall. The wall works.
Which are pretty much sugar cubes.
The devil dogs.
Oh, brother.
Man.
Come on, I just had a couple cupcakes. Don't make me want more sweets.
I'm gonna get a swirly lollipop when I'm in Disneyland. I don't know if they have any in Disneyland Paris, but I'll get some when we go next year. Anyway.
That's the Darth Vader breathing.
Yep.
They did it for no reason. They did that for no reason.
Yep. Ralph just does not like chocolate. And then I see the Whoppers, like the malted milk balls there, chocolate covered milk balls. It's the candy in this world. It's so great.
They had so much fun.
And look at the
with
car
all
bodies. Look at the sugared up car bodies over there on the side. This really is like the junkyard. It's probably where she got her car parts. This is great. That's great.
Look, the fact that she did it that much herself is pretty impressive.
Right? Yep. It may not go very fast, but you know. Taffeta's like Jean. Yeah, she really is.
Oh, God.
It's just like
okay,
great.
You actually have dyslexia. How do you feel about that joke?
That's funny. It's a great play on words. I like it. It's funny.
Okay.
It's funny. But this is just straight up mean. This is just cruel. And then she's just fucking rude. Just rude.
And even he's like uncool. You saw how she was like scared for a second because she was glitching.
Because she was glitching along with her. I want to point out.
And she was ducked in the mud. She was put in the mud.
She was dumped in the mud. Also,
he was triggered.
Yeah, he noted. He was like, "Okay, that's fucking it." You know, I've had it with you.
Rotten little gravities.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and look at this detail. The chocolate doesn't glitch. I want you to pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. Anyway, because she was pretty confident, because she was super confident that she would win, huh?
I mean, you have to when you got like no wins in your life.
Right. She has a lot of unearned confidence, but like, there you go.
Oh God.
They're really going.
But
they're really going at it.
This character was created with Sarah Silverman in mind.
Yeah, very.
Like she was inspired by her memoir.
Yeah. What? One more. Honestly. He couldn't really give half a shit about Hero's Duty, but you know. It's so funny she mentions the fat folds of his neck, because the fat folds of his neck were definitely a lot more obvious in like the 2D. They would do 2D pencil tests of like the characters before they modeled them in 3D so that they could get like what we need them to do animation wise, you know? What? And it's like, in 3D characters, it's really hard to do that. I think the best that I've seen on Fat Folds, we'll get to another movie in the future.
Diaper baby.
Yeah. They really just play off each other.
So she's got like mismatched stocking tights or whatever those are. Yeah, it's
like one would be like a mint flavored candy cane, and the other one would be a chocolate mint flavored candy cane. I don't really like chocolate flavored hard candies. Like, they're kind of weird. They're really weird. But yeah.
And she's got a Twizzler tie in her ponytail.
Yeah. It's more like a pink red vine, really.
What's the difference?
Twizzlers are like
they're red ropes. That's all I got.
Yeah, like they're individual. Like, I think like Twizzlers are individual ropes tied together, whereas a red vine is just kind of like fused together. You really made a mess of things.
Damn red licorice. It's the same difference to me. I don't like licorice. Period.
Would there be a corpse left, or would he just pixelate it out of existence if he died in this game? Well, one can only wonder, right?
Sugar particles.
I mean, it does make sense. This world is completely saccharine. This is great right here.
Because you never pick.
Right. And Sugar Rush had been plugged in for a while, so them knowing what Going Turbo is and knowing who Ralph is wouldn't be out of the question. And the racers never leave the game, probably because King Candy told them not to. He seems pretty tyrannical like that.
Anytime.
And this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Anytime you need to put in some.
Right.
Lore or world building, always do it to a character who has no idea what you're talking about.
Yep. It's also great because we were introduced what Going Turbo is, and we got the idea. We know what Going Turbo is, but I guess we didn't know. Well, no, it was game hopping. It's like,
no, we just got Going Turbo and just
no. They said like,
which we could have thought was going crazy or going AWOL.
It's
they
like,
didn't tell
I
us
don't
what
want to be the
was.
bad guy. You can't mess with the program. You're not going turbo, are you? And it's like, no, I'm not going turbo. But then Felix says Ralph's gone turbo in reference to what he did. So we already knew that it.
Yes, quicksand.
But like then we get like why is it called Going Turbo? It's because it's named after the first guy to game jump and get their games get his and the other game unplugged for ruining everything.
It's like me telling the kids at the swim school who keep trying to push themselves off me. I'm like, God, hey, do you want me to drop you? Because I will if you keep thrashing and pushing me. It's not a threat, it's a fact.
Yeah.
Laffy Taffy.
Laffy Taffy. And then every single broken face of his here is like, you could screen grab it, like frame it. It's great. Maybe just get more.
Feeling that their marriage life ends up very interesting.
I've she didn't want to smack him in the first place.
I've seen fanfics.
And the fucking welt on his forehead. I think all they really need to do for like the welt on his forehead is like just like get like a ball, and then when you texture it, it's like it fuses to the face. Yeah, everything.
Those eyes.
I also want to point out the score in this movie is amazing, with very distinct tracks that actually communicate like the characters very well.
I mean, it's scientifically proven that the pupils enlarge whenever you see somebody that you like.
Yep.
I knew we had a moment. I know we had a moment.
But she's right, they still got a job to do, and, well, he's not dead. And
Yeah,
now
they're
he's
candy
sugar-flavored. He's candy-flavored, too. Eat him. Take a bite.
Yeah, that's apparently a bakery
Card
mascot
bakery.
thing. I
think-
mean the guy sleeping.
He's like Big Papa or something. He drops his name in a minute here. I also want to point out a
what
little
are you,
Easter egg.
dude?
Little Easter egg in this. Some people like me mispronounce Lara Croft as Lara Croft. But like,
Why Laura Croft? There's no you in there.
I know. I just got it confused. But this right here is like she actually pronounces GLaDOS's name correctly, which is, I mean they write it as just the name GLaDOS, but it is, she is supposed to be calling a reference to Portal and the robot GLaDOS. Because, like, it's not supposed to be pronounced GLaDOS, it's supposed to be pronounced GLaDOS, like GLaDOS, you know? It's like, you know. Ralph knows a thing or two about games.
Probably like half trash and half ingredients.
Yeah, I'm
look,
sure
look
it'll be
at the
fine. It'll be fine. And once again, we get a very video gamey look, like very simplified, flat-colored thing.
Yeah, apparently they have. This was like.
Yeah.
It was meant to be multiple mini games that they just combined into one.
I mean, it's more fun this way, and you're under a timer. Got it? Hold. And then his face going red. And purple! Good lord.
Do video game characters even need to breathe?
I mean, they would if they were alive, wouldn't they? And now it goes a little too hard.
I didn't tell you, but I made cupcakes the other day for St. Patrick's Day.
Ooh, now that's... Oh, God. That's a bit...
And you know, I had fun with the frosting.
And... Ooh, nice. Those are pretty looking cupcakes. God, I love every little piece of this cart.
Let's leave this place in mint condition.
Ha! That's great. My mom cake corned beef too. It was great. Happy St. Patty's Day, everybody.
Really? I also
great.
had corned beef. I also had corned beef and mashed potatoes.
Why do we all do corned beef? Did yours have cheese in them?
No.
Okay.
I only do it when I feel like it, but I like it with the gravy.
All right. I don't think we did gravy. Oh yeah, he's gonna drop his name here in a minute. He is like a cookie mascot of some sort.
He got such a frosty beard.
Yeah, that's Beard Papa. Yep. I also love the art of her, just the menacing little art. It's like, little cartoony art.
Yeah, like in the 5 minutes I've known you.
I also love her little buck tooth there. I love the line coming up here from King Candy's great. And the pretzel steering wheel. The car is just as messy and cute as she is. That's great. Great line. Whoop. And the claw.
Like a bear claw.
Like a bear claw, just god damn it. Also, God, what is this ground made of? It's like some kind of...
I never had a bear claw.
It's like some kind of toffee or something. It's so hard.
They're sugar-free.
Bonus level! I do find it like for animation they had to have it go green and wobbly with the little what do you call that, wireframe. But like in a video game, you would just like clip right through it. And I guess like it does make for more fun animation when it does the little wobbly thing.
That is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
He's got a point. Like,
yeah.
Could you at least watch the racers during the other races?
Yeah. She's got a very different perspective on sleeping in garbage. We'll get that in a moment. It's like... No.
You need everybody else's approval to feel great.
I love their characters' dialogue that leads to moments like this. It's like, it's not just like exposition, it's character moments. It's like, hey, you don't really understand? Let me make you understand, huh, genius?
Yeah, I need to learn more from moments like that.
Yeah, it's
And
like...
this is just genius. So raise your hand if you ever did this as a kid, or, well, actually I did it as a babysitter too. But
Mentos, the fresh maker, and also the, fucking...
Yeah. When we were overseas, we could only get Diet Pepsi.
Still works the same. I think it has to do with, like, the sweetener that they use in interacting with the mint. And evidently, to get it to work better, you kind of want to crack the candy shell, because it's the stuff underneath the shell that really makes it go off. But yeah. I think it is, like, the sugars. I think it's, like, the sweetener. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. It's like... And look, she's got her own little makeshift doll and a gummy teddy bear.
And a toothbrush.
Toothbrush.
Wait, dude.
All the stuff you need.
Do they really need to brush their teeth? I don't know. I don't get how this world works.
I think they have the toothbrush just for show. It's like, I wanted a toothbrush just because nobody else in this world has a toothbrush. Just stick to the man. You never know. I mean, we don't exactly see everyone else's bedroom, so...
Just can't leave their games because their code is unfinished.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes digging a hole works for some reason. Works pretty well. Yeah. Just love this. Just button. I think that's how most cars start nowadays. She knows more than he does. It's like, he's calling her out. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like anytime anyone has a car with 3 pedals and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is that last pedal for?
That is a stick shift. That's for shifting gears on a stick shift. That's what the stick is. And yeah, from everything I've known...
No one uses those anymore.
But it's utilized in arcade games because it adds like a methodology to like shifting gears. And Should Have Been Drive is like a perfect song for this. Like, it's like, and then spit the tooth. But it's great. Yep, they're getting it. I think most people drive an automatic gear shifter. But it's like, you gotta be very careful with the stick shift, from what I can tell. From what I know.
Brindle.
And now she's on the unfinished track. Which is great. And... uh-oh! Love that. Love the animation here. God. And the little sugar dust coming off of the...
But, I mean, it does make her complete the jump.
I do feel like she was over high on that. I feel like she would have cleared the jump either way. Which, I mean, like...
Well, not from that parabola. Not from that parabola.
Maybe from the other direction she would have made the jump. Because I think one end is higher than the other. Foreshadowing. It's more like setup and payoffs. Foreshadowing more has to do with, like, character things. This is more like a Chekhov's gun moment, which is like a setup and payoff kind of dealio.
You still have to finish my book.
I do have to finish your book, goddammit.
And see if I actually did any of what you're saying.
Everything's going so far. I just noticed his mustache is on either side 6 little chocolate sprinkles. That's amazing. That is just amazing. It's amazing. There must be something I can do. You love how that king cart, the little crown, like, slots itself perfectly into the throne.
It's never really a twist for me.
And
like, come on, this guy's like shady from the start.
Yeah, but the twist isn't like, but the twist is not that he's a bad dude. Like, we get inclination that he is a bad dude from the beginning.
The real twist was spoiled for me by the internet.
Too true. But yeah. Yep. Pull it out. Funny enough, you may think, oh, this isn't what coding looks like, but there are some modern gaming programs that do have, like, the nodes thing. So in certain development programs, like,
and
I think,
somewhere in there you should see Turbo's car, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah. King Candy's got a big line of code, and hold the fuck up. Something doesn't make sense there. just staring at her. No, that's probably absolutely not what coding would have looked like.
I mean, it's still animation, so...
Yeah, it's animation. They make it simplified so people can understand. More backstory moments. At the soda shop. At the sunset picnic. At the proposal. At the wedding. Yeah.
I shouldn't be laughing at it, but...
Here's the thing, though. Like, he just says things like that. He's just such a, like... He's just such a homegrown country boy vibe. It's like Jiminy Jaminy. Love that. Like Jim Jam, jammed up Jim Jam, Jimmy Jam. I love Sourbill so much with his jelly bean hands and feet. It's amazing. He's been through a lot. Oh boy. Yep. Passing through the wall. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh god, this is like, I had the writers conference I'm going to on Saturday. I'm going to be pitching my book. This is me right now.
Yeah.
It's been me all week.
I love the way the light is refracting through the gumdrops. Yeah. This is such a sweet moment. It's like a little overcast though, so that kind of spells a little bit of like dour moment here.
Gosh, I use this on some of the nervous kids at swimming. Like, say, I'm brave. Yes, you are. Now let's go.
Yeah.
It's like positive gaslighting.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Oh, the way he popped forward, that was such good. That was such a good stretch there. boink, he just popped forward. It's almost like a 3D thing where his head would have popped out of the screen or something. Not quite that far forward, but like still. Again, I'm pretty sure every Disney animated movie was releasing in 3D as well. I love the little and the cartoon sound effects when he's zipping around. It's a pretty,
trailer moment.
It's pretty good line. It's a pretty good line.
Now this is one moment where, you know, I doubted for like a second, like, is he really evil though?
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like,
because he's so good at
he's good at, it's like he's kind of like the whole yeah
good at faking it.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, even in his potential, you know, like she wins the race thing, he still has to be in the roster. Uh-oh.
Really good argument.
It's what's really amazing though. It's like he's a hater. It's like he's
so good at saying that.
Yeah, it's like he's able to convince Ralph of like doing like a really difficult thing.
Gee.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of the better twist villains.
But the thing is that the twist, again, he is like, he's been shown to be a little mischievous. It's like, but now you wonder his intentions. It's like, he's still kind of a, I mean, he's still been a little like trigger happy with the whole like calling the police on them and everything like that. It's like,
when he has such a good argument that like,
he makes such a great argument.
She could die.
She could
like,
die.
Geez.
She could die. It's like she's a glitch, and if she's a glitch, she would not be able to leave the game because
like, go ahead and give him that.
Only characters have the means and programming to leave their game. It's getting a little overcast here, looking very gray outside. Dear.
That's how fast he'll leave you.
Yeah,
I won't say
told you so. It's basically just the dialogue scene of that, just with more gravitas.
Kind of inverted.
And with more gravitas, you know. Look at these two.
And the fact that she said kneel down is kind of a hint too.
It is interesting the way she did that. Oh.
It's made of those sour rope.
I love the sour rope. I love the sour rope as the ribbon. I love sour
whatever
ropes in
you
general.
call it.
I mean, they're sour. They're sour like they're sour streamer sour.
She has so much royal jargon, not realizing it.
Yeah, it's really interesting the way that plays out. It's really sad. You can even see Ralph does not want to do this. He doesn't want to get her hopes up. And like... Yep. Yep. And she tells her outright, just pay attention to this, right? Oof. It's like everyone gets like on Ralph's case, like he went too far, but like she literally tried talking her down It hurts. I'm tearing up right now, but like, God. He tried telling her and she just refused to listen. It's like, oh, everything about this hurts. Oh God, even the music hurts right now. I think I'm just about crying right now. This is sad. Oh God.
It's like, how do you make it sad in such a colorful environment?
I think one of the first movies I cried at in the theaters was Inside Out. But like I said, this movie was the eye opener. This is what stories and movies are supposed to make you emotionally feel like. It's like, God, it hurts so much.
And props to the lighting team for making such a colorful environment. It looks so sad.
I mean, all you had to
moment.
do was blew it out and make it overcast. And God.
Oh man, and their names are split.
Yeah, so sad.
And you know the irony though, because he didn't think about what would happen to his game when he left.
This is what a lot of people over on Sarah Silverman's performance. Yeah, no, like she really sold that. Like God, and the line read, the lines themselves. You really are a bad guy. It's like God, no, that hurts so much. The only one who's left. Yep.
I'm gonna acknowledge the role you played in all this. He never acknowledges the role he played in this.
Though there is this one moment that kind of points at Gene a little bit. Woof.
Maybe?
Yeah, well. Woof.
You know, should have ended like
Gene.
It's like you abandoned us in our game. Like, yeah, well, so long, sucker. See how you do fine without me.
But
Wait,
he's
what?
not. But he's not even like rude about it now. It's like he's like, you know. I imagine like he seems like a guy who's had some time to reflect. He's literally pouring himself a martini. He's like he's here by himself, literally waiting for Ralph because he's like, honestly, if there's nothing else, if Ralph does come back, I want to be the one to at least send him off because we're not getting our game back because everybody else has already left.
What a throw.
Yep. And something you would have only noticed if you were paying attention from the beginning.
That's what I said. I pointed it out at the beginning.
So if you listened to her and didn't listen to me, not listening to her. Gene plays Flash from Zootopia. It does sound like Flash. Just a lot, just not as slow. And just got it all piled up in the friggin' cart.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Ooh. And
None of the other Sugar Rush patrons would have seen. People would have seen. It doesn't look like.
nope.
But Heart of Darkness. Yeah, Heart of
Ooh.
Darkness, reference to Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness.
Oof. Now I want some sour candy. Yeah.
This is.
Yep. Tried, failed. Yeah. Scissors.
And he tell him this much.
He does know a few things.
Maybe he overheard Candy monologuing or something.
It's like
That's the only reason I could
It's
think
like,
he knew
the
this,
thing is,
even though
like-
his memories are locked up. His memories are locked up.
his memories are locked up, so he's like, I know my memories are locked up, and that's why Vanellope's like, you know, not a part of the game. It's like
yes, but then he knows about the finish line thing, so I can only imagine King Candy's been monologuing at some point through all this.
I can also just imagine that Starbell's like, why can't she race King Candy? And he has to tell her. Well, he has to tell him because if he doesn't tell him, then he won't know why she can't race. You know, whether he told him today or like in the past.
Again, alien.
Yeah, boy, here we go. Well, if that ain't ominous, I don't know what is. And look at that, we got a couple more candy-colored guys floating around here.
Fast. That's a
okay,
lie.
the thing she's hanging from looks a lot more like a Twizzler.
He's on top of one of those strawberry wafers that you can get overseas.
I like the vanilla ones, personally. Yeah. That's great. It's great.
Imagine if the movie had been Fix-It Felix.
It would have been very different.
Maybe they realized that Wreck-It Ralph had more story potential.
Yeah. It's like, it's like the bad guy feels dissatisfied, and then they're like, wait, this is a more interesting story. Let's read through that one. I mean, that's not really the Mario 1-up sound.
Countryisms.
But yeah, he is a very homegrown country boy.
What's this hunt going?
I love it.
I've been having a bad day.
Ma'am.
Contact.
Context is very important. Someone's been naughty. Sad clown. No, sad clowns. No. Glitch proof, and it happens to be made of what looks to be chocolate, particularly dark chocolate. We're not teaching anything.
It's like, okay, how much further do you want me to go? Right?
I love their teeth. She's got little bunny teeth, and he's got like a little tooth gap. They're both like, they both have this adorable teeth thing going on, individually, separate. Love the little candy. Assorted fans with nuts. That's amazing. Awesome video game stuff. Or at the very least, what would be video gamey. And then that camera movement is very Mario Kart. And then he managed to spin out. It's just great. The attention to detail is just so fucking good. He never had a hardship with a hero normally goes through to become one. This would technically be his journey through perspective. Yeah, so his subplot is very important. It's like he's had it so easy his entire life. He's had like a loving father and all that shit. It's like he doesn't understand. Like Ralph's role in the story is to be a rotten guy, but it's like just because he's a rotten guy in the game doesn't mean he's like a rotten guy, period. It's like, and I think he knows that Ralph's not a bad guy. He's just too nice to, you know.
Hey, honey.
Yeah.
Gumdrops and jelly beans and sheep's wool.
Oh, boy. Oh. Pie. And it was the pie.
Okay, so how come Disney has not made this a real game already?
I know, like, this would actually have been a lot of fun. They did have an online version, which actually had, like, very low poly graphics that probably would have been indicative of what the actual arcade game would have looked like. It didn't control very well, but it was definitely a think those are gumballs.
Ooh, the
I mean, look-
speeders.
Haha. That was probably just a line she made up. God, the music in this movie is so good! And
Cherry.
it's really great is like you could have like the
Where's
cherry bomb.
Precious?
You could have the cherry bomb be like an item. There's a Mario Kart item where you throw the little bomb, so yeah.
So where's Serpentious with all the cherry bombs? Ooh, red velvet cupcakes. Yummy.
Ooh, the little straw. The straw, those little straws with those little pastry straw things with the
You
chocolate
mean the sugar
inside.
canes?
The sugar canes, little straws, yeah. Even her animation is very simple there. When she's crying, it's like that's yeah.
Talking about that, glitch got you ahead of everyone else.
Yep. Yeah, she would have passed him up either way. Oof.
Later.
What? Yeah. About that, buddy.
And now they're multicolored.
Yeah.
Bull roar.
Welcome to the candy. Welcome to the
Like,
candy kingdom.
As like, I bet they told them, like, guys, you can't swear. So if you need to swear, be creative about it.
So he says Mother Hubbard. She says things like bull roar.
I don't need to do boo. Forget my potty mouth.
Also, Jack McBrayer is just too nice in general.
Ice cream.
Ice cream, you scream, we all put on a
man.
jacket.
We need to find another Dairy Queen date. Wait till after Easter.
Yep. They did make a version of Fix-It Felix Jr. And they did make a Wreck-It Ralph video game for, like, a handful of things, but mostly the Wii, where it took place after the movie, but, you know. That was more in the meta sense of the universe rather than the individual video games themselves. Would have been smarter if they made a Litwack arcade thing, where it was a bunch of mini games all based off of the individual games in the arcade. Oof. Shit. Shit. Yeah! Punch him out! Punch him out! Bum bum. And... whoop! I saw that. This time, anyway. It's a little... now there are dark circles around his eyes. Ooh. If you stop at a freeze frame, there's a freeze frame where he's looking directly at us and giving the thumbs up and a cheeky little grin. And then half of the time he's just like a fucking Minecraft model. But it's like, it's absolutely amazing.
Imagine if he's been. I can only imagine if he's been hiding this game for like 15 years or so.
Yeah.
Then he must have tried really hard not to die in here.
But the thing is, like, this is probably one of the rare games you cannot die here. Racing games, you can fall off the track, but, like, you always get picked back up afterward.
I mean, he could.
Well, now he's dead.
Okay, so apparently they had this happen because they thought the final battle he wasn't intimidating enough.
And technically, it's not him anymore. Actually, we'll get to that in a moment. But, like...
it's emerging.
oh, we'll get to that in a minute. Ah, the lollipop! I want it! That looks so good! Giant lollipop! Gimme, gimme, gimme! Ah, shit. He's right. They pretty much swallowed it. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Come back soon.
Good night.
Because King Katie may have been lying about this. He was not.
She's probably tried too before.
It's like, what do? I just get out. Yep. It's not, but I get it. I love the contrast, his square ears and her little round ears. I imagine they probably could have been made squarer. You can even hear a little plong in the orchestra. You can hear a little glockenspiel or something. It's like a little bling, you know. It was so light, but it was like the idea, like the bing. Ah, shit. Off we go to the races.
Do things.
Do what you do best, Ralph. Ah, here we go. Yep. Uh-oh. Yeah. Haha. Yep, that is not King Candy. That's not.
It is.
It's Turbo, but it's not King Candy.
Okay, are we gonna be logistic about this?
Because like the
King Candy is Turbo, and Turbo is King Candy, and
no, because like the Cybug becomes what they ate, which means this is actually the Cybug actually being able to talk. Like. It would be more fun to kill you, says the bug that literally eats everything. And also this line as well. And it does make things more intimidating, right? Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the bug talking, you know? Like you get what I'm saying, right? Woof.
emerging. It's not a separate thing.
Well, we'll get that. We'll get that in a moment. This is such a great moment. The wind in his hair is really great. It's good. It's great line reads. It's pretty good affirmation for a video game character in it. Like, it's the role you were born to play. Maybe not the one you wanted, but.
And, you know, raising the stakes there, because, you know, he could die in this game.
He could, easily. He could easily die because of this. Whoop! I wonder how often those Mentos...
Neo's in it.
I have to wonder... Ooh! I have to wonder how often those Mentos respawn or something. And there we go. As a demonstration of the fact that the bug ate King Candy, Turbo may be there, but King Candy isn't, is right here when we see his eyes.
Turbo is King Candy.
No. Like, yes, but the bug has taken over the King Candy half. See? Yep. Yeah, the bug has definitely taken over King Candy. Turbo has some control, but, like, well, not at that point. And the chocolate thing comes a full circle. And a skull appears. That's amazing. Also important to mention, some people have, like, done, like, follow-ups, like, where, like, King Candy Turbo didn't die because he's a glitch and you can't necessarily get rid of a glitch, but it's like, that's not what she said. That Cybugs are like a virus, so... I
saw another one where he became part of the code for so long that...
he was stuck there?
Yeah, that he could regenerate.
Kind of bullshit, because we already heard what Sonic said.
I liked it. The fanfic I read anyway.
Seems like the kind of thing they could have established for a sequel, but we'll get there when we get there. They shared a body,
honey. They're one being. And they did the whole Beauty and the Beast thing.
Yep.
That's a really puffy dress.
Floofy.
Yeah, Queen of Hearts-ish.
All hail the queen. Out it goes. Woo-hoo. Oh boy. She's just looking at herself like, what the fuck? Whoops.
Good.
I believe that. She does look like, she does even have like the little lollipop on the end, kind of getting Queen of Hearts-ish. Well, even King Candy
I
wasn't
mean,
a part of
realistically
cigarettes.
speaking, she can't kill everybody in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, then there'd be no game. Then she'll be all genocidal and worse than King Candy.
Yeah. Yeah, I wear a little white suit on the side of the arcade console, remember?
It does come back into play.
Yep.
Because you should be in the Disney Princess lineup. Is it because you're too short? Because that's not fair.
One can wonder.
But you'd make a good, like, Kelly-sized doll. I'm sorry, Chelsea.
Chelsea.
It was Kelly. That is her name.
Right. We gotta get out of here. Whoa, we gotta get out of here.
Hugs.
No.
It's not really a democracy, though, because she just did declare herself president. That's not how democracy works.
She's a kid. She doesn't know that president isn't the same thing as a king. He knew what he was saying. Love how pink and pink candy-ish her little nose is, making her look like a little, making her look like a chipette. Actually, if I'm being honest, it's like that little pink nose in combination with the bug tooth. She looks like one of the chipettes.
No, Scratch, it's not how it should work. People don't just declare themselves president. Hello?
That would be chaos. Dogs and
Yeah.
cats living together.
Nobody
Mass
can
hysteria.
just declare. Nobody can just declare themselves president, even though they weren't voted, right?
Right. Absolutely. Anyway,
Not
but
naming
on the
names.
top of, I'm back to the movie. It's like, it's really nice how everything like wraps up. It's just beautiful. Yay.
Therapy.
Yeah. Aww. To our favorite bad guy. Just be nice. Yep. And like, it's just so much fun. You're not wrong. Nice.
Won't the Q-Bird people still die in that game?
Well, no, because there's no death in this game except for Felix. If you fail as Felix, Felix will respawn. The bad guys don't die, they just get tossed off the tower. Wah, wah, wah.
And he still got torn pants.
Yeah, it's great.
I guess the church still exists in the game. We can only assume this happened after some time.
Yeah. I think it's probably been about I don't know, a few months.
Hold on, did they have lilies at that wedding?
Maybe just in case something happened, they could turn it around.
Honey, jeez.
It's so interesting that everything else through an arcade console looks appropriate. But it's like the Vanellope doesn't look like low poly or anything, which a 90s arcade racer game would have looked. But of course, that would go to the trouble of making different models. But you know, it's the little details. And honestly, it kind of just bugs.
See,
it probably just bugs me only.
It's not getting everyone's approval. It's just the select few who will accept you as you are.
Exactly. And probably one of the better songs to have been written for a Disney movie, by Owl City. When Can I See You Again? For the credits. It's really good.
Pony ended up using this for her series.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was the best choice, but yeah.
And our executive producer, Mr. Lasseter. And again, what do you think you're doing? Goobert?
Lee!
Yeah? We got Sonic.
Who would be working on the script for our next movie.
Indeed. And a co-director with Chris Buck from Hercules. I'm not Hercules, but Tarzan. Henry Jackman, great. I love seeing the pixelated versions and like the epilogue.
Squad, I'll tell you why it's recommending Taylor Swift. Do you know the whole thing about that guy from Owl City and Taylor Swift? She wrote a song, Enchanted, about meeting that guy, and then he later wrote his version singing, Taylor, I was so in love with you. They never got together, though.
But yeah, no, love that. Love the way they do the 3D on the pixel art, and then they just, for the camera moves, great. Which actually makes me think that some of this is probably just 3D.
Much better than the other video game movie from 2015 that should not be named. Oh, brother. Which ironically had Steven, right?
But like, what's really great, like, but like, darn, I lost my train of thought. What was the last thing you said about?
About what?
And
about what?
Or this is a reference to the Mario Brothers arcade game. But like, I'm trying to, and this is also the Mario Brothers arcade game reference as well, where they're collecting all the medals and going down a pipe. And now everybody's in Fix-It Felix Jr. Well.
Hey, what about what?
I'm trying to think. It was like, had a thought. Fix it with a gun.
Are you talking about what I was saying about Taylor Swift and Owl City?
Yeah, Owl City. That's just one guy.
Yeah, the lead singer thing.
Yeah, well, Owl City is one guy.
Oh.
Yeah. that's.
I don't know. I don't follow a lot of people.
No, I know. I get that. Anyway, additional story by John C. Reilly, Sam Levine, and Jared Stein. Nice when you can have like one of the actors input on the story.
John DiMaggio was Beard Papa.
Yep. Sonic, Roger Craig Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was Roger Craig Smith. And Fred Tatasciore and the additional voices, of course.
And Kat Sushi put in there, of course. And Kate Sushi.
Kate Sushi.
Sushi, obviously. I never know how to say her name.
And then Sugar.
It's not spelled traditionally.
Yeah. And Jim Cummings. Well, yeah, of course. Always gotta have those go-to voice actors to pull in to do all the crowd voices.
Japanese.
Yep. Mm-hmm. What a fun movie. Yep. And like,
pretty much done. I unfortunately did not get to see this in theaters.
no.
And let's just say with overseas releases, that like it never correlated for when I was in the States or overseas.
Yep. That's true. And then we move into pixel art of Hero's Duty. Honestly, and of course you need some people on the crowd stuff because that's a lot of rendering to do, a lot of animation. Even if you duplicate it and use it across different models, it's like,
Man, it's
do a lot of work.
It's underrated.
I wouldn't say this movie is underrated. I'd say like
it is underrated. No one talks about it enough.
Okay, yeah, nobody talks about it enough, but as far as when it came out, it was a pretty good success. Like, people loved it. People loved this movie. It was like meeting Ralph and Vanellope at the theme parks. Like, everybody dug it. Everybody loved these characters and the story that they told. The animation is good as always.
No, hun. Remember, I wasn't in America,
That's true. That's true. But yeah, I mean, like, this movie for 2012 and into the early parts of 2013 was what Frozen was to 2013, and still to this day. People just did not shut up about it, you know?
That was released overseas.
But yeah. No, like, it's a good movie. It's a really, really, really good movie.
Except, wait, I wouldn't have seen it overseas because, right, because I moved by that point.
Celebration. Sugar Rush, Bug Hunt, Skrillex on the Mothership. Ooh, that might have been the music that the March of the Winkies. Ah yes, once we get to the end of the credits, we do get a little reference to the Pac-Man level. Which is all glitched out. It's like all the way out. And this is also kind of fun song if you stick around toward the end of the credits.
The Wreck-It Ralph theme.
Wreck-It Ralph as fast as you can. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-da-da. Buckner and Garcia, Pac-Man Fever game, doing Pac-Man Fever fame, doing Wreck-It Ralph. Nice. Is the sequel good? We'll get to the sequel when we get to the sequel. Which is my way of saying, I'm not telling. Ah, man. But, like, yeah, and then they're doing the pixel art of the... Honestly, the animation in this movie is like, I think Disney fell into a pretty nice rhythm at this point. Like, after experimenting with overly cartoony animation in Chicken Little, carrying over to that cartoony animation to the future characters in, fucking... Meet the Robinsons, and then like pushing back against the cartooniness to a little more subtle animation in the Bolt, then going back to your more traditional Disney animation, which is a hybrid of the two in Rapunzel. It's like now we have kind of like where they're kind of trying to experiment, like they did the kind of 8-bit vibe, you know. It's like with the Icelanders, like mentioned before, and like. You know, and it's like that kind of experimentation and doing those different things that kind of allows this film to stand out the way it does. It's good. And yes, Ralph and Vanellope have a great friendship in this movie. It's like he's kind of a dad for her. And there it is. There's the glitch. And then we also have a zombie and the Ralph carrying cherries. Pigs.
Yeah.
Sprite.
And the Clyde guy.
And Clyde, of course. But yeah, no, that is Wreck-It Ralph. Great movie, a lot of fun, good animation, as always to be expected from Disney, but also just, yeah, the kill screen. It's some high number level, 240 some odd something, or 265 or something. Anyway, but like that's the end of Wreck-It Ralph. It's a good movie. The animation's good. Disney's definitely gotten into a certain stride with their 3D animation, which they will be able to keep up the momentum on, and of course improve the fidelity over time. 256. Okay, so I was close. All right, but yeah, thank you all so much for joining us. My apologies. Merci d'être venu ce soir. Et si vous voyez ça après, merci d'avoir regardé. N'oubliez pas de faire attention. Soyez prudents et soyez gentils dans tout ce que vous faites. Bonne nuit à tous!